Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's coaching component of whatever it is I do. And so we're just going to head straight into the week. We've got, well, actually, we have, look here, Mercury at 0001 of Gemini. Oh, sorry, 02 of Gemini. So now we've got this massive influx of mental energy. All right. So as always, heads up, if it works well with you, you could be getting flashes of brilliance. If it's not so great, you could just be freaking getting overwhelmed with your own thoughts. So just pay attention to where you're at and adjust accordingly. All right. So if you're like, if it's a little bit too much, remember your tools to ground and center or, refocus. Don't listen unless they're the good voices in your head, then you can listen to them. Anyway, all right. So okay, so this week we've got a lot of things happening this week, but most of them are awesome. I'm looking at a couple of them that are a square, but most of them are really, really good because we've got all this brilliant mental stuff happening. All right, so the aspect for today, even though today's over, it's still in the air. All right, so we had Jupiter trine Pluto this morning exactly. We've got Mercury sextile Neptune. It is making it a little bit confusing. And now that Mercury is in Gemini rather than Taurus, it could have us losing focus even more. So just be careful for that one. All right. So at 4 p.m.-ish, the moon moved into Taurus, grounding us that little bit. So there was a short window where we had the moon in Taurus and then Mercury in Taurus. So that might have been good for focused work intention. Anyway, and then like I said, Mercury actually entered Gemini at 5:40 something. I got it wrong. Anyway, so the overall mood of the day was very transformative. It's all about communication and ideas, group activities. But again, we needed to stay focused and comfortable. All right, so what else was there for today for the rest of the evening? We've got this beautiful Venus Cazimi growing. That's actually tomorrow morning, early. So that's nice too, where we've got, a very, very social vibe. Um, uh, we're able to, so the sun's influence as all powerful for our, corner of the universe, of the galaxy or whatever, the sun is our center point. All right. So with Venus going across it in Gemini, the sun is just amplifying all of Venus's good energy in the area of communication, transport, siblings, neighborhoods, um, tech, all that sort of stuff. So again, with the brilliant insights that we could be having, or at least, maybe if you have a problem in the neighborhood, maybe you could get together and resolve issues through good communication. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff, but as I said, for both the sun in Gemini and now Jupiter in Gemini, keep a pen and paper handy with you, or remember that you've got your notes or voice recorder on your phone, because these are the type of insights where, they're just brilliant. So we want to keep an eye on those ones. All right. So tomorrow it is going to be harmonious and balanced. Actually, sorry, I'll go forward to tomorrow. Oh, no, I don't want it to go to 6 p.m. I want to go back to 9 a.m. All right, so this is for Tuesday. All right, so as you can see here, the sun is only just seconds past Mercury because it was like 12:30. So we've got that Mercury, now Mercury in Gemini ruling all of this stuff. So the moon is keeping us grounded, and Saturn is also helping us to stay responsible with our thoughts. All right, so, Gemini is our thoughts and communication, but Pisces is more our subconscious landscape, old conditioning, patterns of behavior, all of that type of stuff. So Saturn is actually our friend right now, keeping us grounded. All right. So what else was there for Tuesday? Significant growth and transformation through communication and social interactions. All right, strategic planning is also highlighted, and that could also be the influence of the moon in Taurus. And as you can see here, it's not making any aspects to anything else. So, I've often used the analogy of, that the planets are in a room, they're all off talking to each other, and they're all doing their own thing. At this point, the moon in Taurus is just hanging out near the food table, doing its thing and not talking to anyone. So nobody is really focused on what they're thinking. They're all just out socializing. All right, so lots of activity between this Aries and this Gemini. Oof, lots of stuff happening. All right, what else was there? That was pretty much it for Tuesday. All right. Okay, let's go forward to Wednesday. All right, I'm now off notes. Okay, so Wednesday, we've got that moon conjunct Uranus in the morning. So just be prepared for some emotional sensitivity, or, maybe, like Kara, you're going into a whole new environment, which is financially orientated. All right, so the moon's in Taurus. Now, you want these changes to happen, but you're very aware that there's going to be a low level discomfort because you're not in a state of familiarity. I know you got blah, 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 but you know what I mean. All right, so just be prepared for Wednesday morning. That, breathe deeply. Remember all of this, high functioning. This could be very neurotic as well, but we do have this beautiful trine, which is harmonious and helpful. So this Kazemi, this beautiful, the words that we speak, it's tied in with that south node ruling. Venus is ruling that south node. I do remember you having a statement saying that, you're going to go into this experience with an expectation that none of that other stuff is going to happen anymore. And I know you know what I mean. And I totally agree. All right, we've got Lilith here and the South Node. All right, so South Node is the shit that you're ready to let go of, and Lilith is that stuff that you've always kept down. So I like that we've got this beautiful, harmonious, lovely stuff. Mercury, very, very inquisitive. Just coming off Jupiter. Oh my God, I missed that. I missed the Mercury conjunct Jupiter. Oh well, whatever. So I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so go in it with lovely thoughts. All right, you can leave that old stuff behind. It's not going to follow you. All right, so we've still got, Mercury and Jupiter in that trine to Pluto. So there's stuff coming up, oh, this is for Wednesday. Okay, so that's why I missed it, because it was for Tuesday and I don't have my book. Here's my book. All right. So and Jupiter and Pluto just want you to be consistent and persistent. Now, Mercury conjunct Jupiter, which was on Tuesday, which I just fleeted straight over, again with the abundance of ideas. All right. Jupiter does bring knowledge and understanding of the mind. All right. So that, but again, with the incessant chatter, or, ADHD off its head. I know I have been very vocal about it because it's a struggle. It's like, what is this stuff? Calm down, brain. All right. So this is a really nice day. All right. So we're going to get into this day and be like, yeah, I got this. All right. So now the moon does change into Gemini at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday. And that is just going to kick us over into air central. All right. Now, there are lots and lots of changes taking place. So that moon conjunct Jupiter is at 11 p.m. on Wednesday the 5th. All right, so we're growing in our understanding. There's that trine to Pluto with the moon is exact at 10 p.m. All right, so there could just, with all of the realizations that we're having, the Pluto is just giving you more things to consider. All right. He's taking stuff out of those depths. Like I said, you know, be very aware that Saturn and that stoicism of the mind is going to help you be responsible for your thoughts. All right. Yes, there is an influx of mental energy, and that it's going to cause, that could cause anxiety, or it could flip you over into, an altered state, not conducive to, I don't know, your relevant circumstances right now. But you got this. All right. So just if it does get a bit hard, just call on Saturn. Now, another thing what we do have growing in the sky to call upon Saturn is the Sun and Venus are growing in their square. All right. So they're at 14 degrees. The square is at 18. So as the days progress, so it's the 9th. This is the 5th. So we've still got 4 days from Wednesday. So it must be Sunday. We are just getting more and more disciplined and determined as the march goes on. Okay. So yes, there is so much freaking energy, but you got this. All right. So let me go back to, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, sorry. As you can see, I'm struggling too. All right. So this is the friend. All right. This Saturn square is the friend to all of the stuff happening Wednesday and Thursday. So the new moon, let's just go forward. I think I've pretty much said enough for Wednesday. You guys forgive me for my flittiness. All right. So let me go forward to the actual hours. So beautiful. Look at it. Look at that. 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, look at that, ladies. The new moon exactly conjunct Venus. Oh my God, so beautiful. And widely conjunct Mercury. All right. Okay. So basically, Thursday, what we're trying to do is all of these fabulous opportunities and ideas that we have, all of the social invitations that we have, all of the, having a good chat with a girlfriend on the phone, or friend, doesn't have to be a girl, but having a good chat with someone on the phone. We need to make some practical, realistic expectations when we are writing our new moon intentions. All right. We can come up with some hectic stuff. I can imagine that the new moon lists are going to be long and large. But yeah, again, we really need to make sure that we are somehow making them real. All right. It's all good to say, I'm going to learn to, I don't know, fly a fucking jet by the end of the year. But it's like, really, do you have enough time? Saturn rules time. So that's another factor. The time, the discipline, the determination, the rules. Like, do you have to apply for something? Do you have to, approach an authority? Do you have to get help from an elder? That, I guess you get what I'm trying to say with the Saturn bringing this down to actual grounded, realistic expectations. Okay, so that was beautiful. All right, so now I'll just read you the words. It is in the website, but anyway. So how are you getting on with all of this Gemini energy? Calm the fuck down is the words exactly that I wrote. Tonight's new moon is about setting intentions around how you can start something new around this. Saturn and the Kygea, all right? So my favorites, as you know, guys, Chiron, Hygieia, look at that. They're both at 22 degrees of Aries, all right? So these guys are offering their discipline and realism, and also they are keeping you aware of the boundaries that you have just previously set. All right. Must have been in the week ahead when I was talking about Mars when he entered Aries at the beginning of May and he started his trek. He came out of Pisces, he was wise, he was wise, and he, had his hard slog through the watery realms. And then he got onto the battlefield and he was like, yeah. And for the first 2 weeks, he was just charging ahead. And then he was like, oh my God, what is my purpose? My feet are getting sore. And then he first of all came up to Hygieia and he's like, okay, so this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. What boundaries do I need to put in place? Where am I actually getting affected? Like what thoughts, or like what boundaries do I need to put in place? That's not good. That's not good. That's okay. All right, we've sussed all that stuff out. And then last week he came up to Chiron and he was face to face with his wounds. So, you know, that literally could have been physical wounds, or he was reminded, like all his scars became raw. Okay, so he was very much reminded of the pain that he had just experienced, the pain of loss, the pain of whatever, trauma, old trauma. All right. So, but now Mars has passed all of that and he has life experience to now help him with all of these decisions that need to be made. All right. So Pluto's still hanging in there. Pluto's still giving us juice to transform ourselves collectively and also in our bigger picture perspective as well of the world. You know, maybe there's things that have opened up our world recently and we have to adjust to that as well. All right. So and as I was saying for Wednesday, this you know, this is being held down. So all of these great ideas and the experiences that we've just gone through, Saturn is like, are there any patterns here that we need to put boundaries around? Are you finding strength from any spiritual help that you are asking for potentially? Are you do you have what it takes to make real all of these thoughts and dreams? All right, so all of those things, you know, they're in one corner of the room and they're all just like chatting away madly. So even though Mars isn't, you know, Mars is the lower masculine of Saturn. I don't know if I just made that up or not, but I'm looking at it that way. You know, Saturn sent him off after that Mars Saturn conjunction to go on his way. Neptune then gave him a spiritual quest, and then he, you know, went out to battle. And soon, very soon, he gets to sit down on the lounge just like Mercury did and calm down some of his adrenal fatigue. All right, so, and as you can see here now, Uranus is doing nothing. Uranus is like, okay, I've caused enough shit for the moment. Everybody's on their way. Although until Mars is the next one that's going to hit Uranus, and that's going to be explosive. All right, so let me just go forward. I love you guys so much because you let me be me. All right, so let's have a look for Friday morning. Now, Friday morning, even though it is past, I would still take this time to look at this. The moon in Gemini sextile that Kaijia. That Kaijia. All right, so there could be some beautiful realizations coming up today. So maybe you could do your new moon intentions on Friday morning if you get up early, or, you know, they do say 8 to 10 hours. And I think any day is a good day to write a list. So what you really need to function at your best and some awareness around what needs to take place or be amended might be more obvious to you. Sorry, words. Okay, so that was for Friday morning. So and even that, you know, if you are feeling a little bit wounded on this Friday morning, remember that it is a thought. Okay, you've already done the hard work. You've already had those realizations. You know where you're going. All right. So this actually, you know, in that regard, this Saturn square could make that feel harder. But again, are we just learning lessons? Are we reinforcing old beliefs? Are we doing the work? You know, Saturn in Pisces is literally all about doing the work. So if you do feel the struggle, then, you know, it's part of a trial and you can conquer this. All right. So the moon does move into Cancer at 10:40 p.m. on Friday. So we're going to miss out on most of that. But the Saturday morning, all right, so Saturday morning we have the moon in Cancer. We also have that Venus coming up to square Saturn. Now, in the words I wrote, that you may see the patterns, like I was talking about for the Friday, but you may find more where the blocks are because of the patterns or vice versa. So there's probably going to be some thoughts around family, ancestry, your lineage, you know, home, wrap yourself in some love. So if you're, I don't know, maybe Cara, you feel a little bit homesick or something like that, just ring someone up. Home is where your heart is, and if the love that you're looking for is on the other end of the phone, hopefully it can satisfy that need. All right. So I've just also discovered that after I wrote the words and did all of this, that my mum's coming on the weekend. So on Sunday, when we have a little, maybe a few battle wounds. All right, so allow the feelings to flow. Maybe there's some sensitive topics that need to be addressed. So be the bigger person and speak to others as you wish you were spoken to. The wisdom in my words, I'm going to have to remember them. So even if you feel like it didn't get you anywhere, it's off your chest and it's out to be dealt with. Maybe it will diminish a potentially volatile conflict from happening in the next couple of days. All right, so, we are trying to do the work here. We are trying to give some love and nurturing to the excavation of that mental landscape that we're sort of residing in. um you know these guys are moving off, or the party's sort of diminishing a little bit. Not really, but it is. And then also Mars is at 29 degrees. So he is going to be very potent today as well. All right. So that was probably both, yeah, from all day Saturday and all day Sunday, he's going to be at 29 degrees. So he is at his most testosterone filled. He is probably got itchy pants. He wants to get moving. And then he moves into Taurus and he gets to sit down. All right, I've got some words over here for Taurus to give you the key points. All right, so Mars enters Taurus at 2:35 p.m. on the 9th. The planet of action, energy, and drive takes a different flavor when it resides in Taurus. It is a fixed Earth sign ruled by Venus, and Venus is in Gemini. So Mars might make himself very vocal in his displeasure because he is in detriment, all right, because he rules Scorpio. So the opposite sign is in detriment. If someone rules that, they're in detriment over there. All right. So now, so it might make his feistiness subtle. Oh, there you go. He might take on a little bit of a passive aggressive vocab. Who knows? All right. Anyway, if we're looking at Mars in Taurus generally, we've got persistence and determination. All right. Set your mind. If you're setting any goals at this time, you will see them through to the end because you've got that determination. All right. Practicality and realism. So, think of the bull, very practical approach, looking for tangible results. All right. Sensuality and physicality. All right. So Mars in Taurus does like, it is a very lazy Mars. I call Mars in Taurus the lounge lizard, which Dougal is a Taurus, and he very much is a lounge lizard. But it's a love of good food, comfort, and the senses. Okay, so again, Mars needs a little bit of a break. He's just been full speed ahead. All right, yep, slow and steady. So he's reliable. He's got good endurance. Financially, we can very much be right determined. All right, so once Mars moves into Taurus, we could get a wriggle on if we've had some sort of goal where, like, okay, where are we going to find the money? We could be very determined in, I don't know, maybe making passive income. If you've had some stuff hanging around that you wanted to put on marketplace, maybe you'll get the desire to go and do those type of things. Make a post about the things that you offer, all of those type of things. All right, so now, Mars in Taurus can be very stubborn. All right. It can also be slow to take action when action is necessary. Unlike Aries, who will just go do it, Mars in Taurus will think about it a little bit because he's cautious. All right. And they can be very possessive in love as well. All right. So, what else? Things like yoga, walking, weightlifting, Pilates, very strength-based, focused activities are really, really helpful, especially if you're starting to feel that frustration. All right, so have a stretch. If you're starting to feel frustrated, it's not, I mean, weightlifting is awesome, but more the sensuality of a good stretch or a roll or a, I don't know, whatever. You do your thing. All right. So, yeah, so patience is definitely going to be a key for the whole month that Mars is in Taurus. All right, so I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to pause the recording. Play. Yay. Okay, I'll share my screen again and I'll just go through. All right, so all of this stuff is on the website. If you need help to log in, please just let me know, because I'll be able to do it from the other end. Now, I have also just sent out the sign up for the next block starting the 24th. Yeah, the Monday, the 24th of June. Now, I did this myself. So if something doesn't work, please let me know because I can't, like I've tried to make sure that all the boxes are ticked and all that sort of stuff, but it takes someone actually trying to sign up for me to know that something's not working. Like you might not get your login or blah, blah, blah. All right. So, coaching questions. All right. I like this format that I came up with this week. Oh, where'd everyone go? All right. So, now it's done in days. So, if you wanted to contemplate something to contemplate for the day, you could always just maybe I'll just continue to pop this into the chat. I think it was a good idea. So anyway, so tomorrow, what conversations do I need to have about releasing any lingering doubts or fears? All right. So, identify relationships, think about how you can express your thoughts and feelings constructively. All right. Wednesday, how do I stay grounded amidst the mental stimulation? All right. Go into your toolbox, guys. You've all got these tools. What do you do? I know when I get shiny thing and I'm like all over the place, I've got 50,000 tabs open in my head. I just tried to take 3 deep breaths and bring myself back and remind myself what I was doing in that moment before I flew off the handle. So, what is it that you need to do? Okay. So, and that's basically what the thing says too. All right, Thursday. We spoke about this one. What new intentions can you set during the new moon in Gemini? But set specific achievable goals related to communication, learning, or personal growth. All right. Excuse me, Friday. How can I incorporate healing practices into my daily routine? First of all, what do you love doing? I did an inside workout today. It wasn't as extensive as my normal ones, but it just made me feel good. So that's part of my healing practice. So what do you need to do daily? And I know, you know what, most of the times we can't be fucked, but we know that when we do it, we feel better. So it's about giving ourselves that pep talk as well. And don't let that inner critic be the one that navigates your day. All right. So, here we're talking about emotional wounds, past experiences, healing practices, therapy, or self-care rituals. Again, with there's so much of this is going to be come back to center, bring yourself back down, contain all of that mental energy, like so much mental energy. All right. So don't worry about if you're struggling because it's sort of to be expected. you know. Okay. So Saturday, what family patterns or dynamics are becoming apparent to me? All right. So reflecting on reoccurring family issues of behavior that affect you. Consider how you can address or change these patterns constructively. And for Sunday, how can I communicate more mindfully with loved ones? Mum. Okay. So because I want to be nice, I want to be the good girl. So I have to amend my behavior, yet still set boundaries around expectations because previously I know how these conversations have worked. So again, I'm just using myself as the example. What is the focus in your situation when it comes to the Cancer moon or to family or to ancestry or, your home? So, I mean, it's just going to be a reminder. All right. So things to ponder. Balance, assertiveness, and patience. I'm not going to read all of it. All right. You can go and have a look at it. All right. Healing emotional wounds. All right. Spend time to see how they are affecting you. And remember all of the work that Mars has just done with Kaijia and set those freaking boundaries. Acknowledge the wounds, acknowledge what they've taught you, and acknowledge that they are behind you. All right. Because in this moment, you are in control of the steps that you take forward. Okay. So, realistic boundaries. All right. New moon intentions. Reflect on long-term goals and how new intentions align with them. Family dynamics and ancestry, um, communication styles, and grounding practices. So they're the things that we want to focus on this week. All right. So, with Mars going into Taurus, it's actually going to be pretty good for us. So I hope that with I can't say it enough how much we've got in the air. So just, continue to bring yourself down, be kind, probably eat good food, and lots of self-care. So I'll just stop the recording now.